A very good morning to the members of the floor. We, the opposition, wholeheartedly oppose the debate of today's motion, which is electronic mail is not outdated because it is still widely used in the society. First, I shall rebut the points given by the government. The first speaker has basically talked about the whole of a speech about the younger generation in universities having email as a beneficial tool too. But the thing is, we cannot focus on the younger generation by itself. We have to stay on the older generation. It doesn't mean that if we, the younger generation, have a better tool such as other than email, we cannot assume that the older generation has the same advantage as us, as they themselves might just be on the road to discovering email as the main communication tool. And the second speaker has also touched. Actually, I didn't get his whole speech because he was stumbling the whole time. Anyway, he said that email and IM Messenger, he gave, for example, about IM Messenger and Bluetooth and how can it connect, and therefore email is not outdated. First of all, IM Messenger has its own function and Bluetooth has its own function. IM Messenger is more of a chatting tool, and you cannot compare it to a function of an email, which is to receive and send files to the power of 1 to many. And Bluetooth is definitely out of the question. It has nothing to do with email. So therefore, you cannot compare and take IM Messenger and Bluetooth to the picture, as it has nothing to do with email. Email has its own function, and they have their own function. Right? Yes?
By comparing other communication tools with email, we will prove to you that indeed emails are outdated because they lack the efficiency, the speed, and immediate reproducibility. By comparison, we will prove to you that our point is true.
Yes, but how can you compare IM Messenger and email? Email is the function to receive and send messages. IM Messenger is a chatting tool, and you can't send files when they are not online. And Bluetooth is definitely out of the question. It's nothing to do with email. How can you compare a different technology with something with email has yes, who has a different function?
But they have one thing common. All of them are forms of communication.
Yes, all of them are having forms of communication of a different thing. That's why you can't compare telephone and letter mail. Obviously, you can't compare telephone and email. You can't compare telephone and iPod. They are all different forms of communication comparing to emails, as email has its own function by itself. So therefore, I shall first move on to my first point, which is the activeness of the usage of email globally. Ladies and gentlemen, there are 13 million people in the UK who uses email every single day, and 1.1 billion people across the world who use it daily, with nearly 1.4 billion active accounts, and in fact, there are 171 billion emails being sent out every day. So do you think that email is still outdated? We are not here to debate about whether or not email acts as an efficient tool. But based on the solid facts I gave you, it is nonsensical for anyone to conclude that email is not outdated because it itself is being well known and being well received globally. Moving on to my second point, which is there are no superior or better alternatives other than email. As I gave so many examples of how active and important is the usage of email, we cannot compare SMS to email. SMS is just to send a message or principle of few words. You can't send a file. For example, during a discussion, we can send files of our own speech to each other, but you can't use a phone to do that. And SMS is more of a chatting tool, and even if you want to send a file, the other party must be online. And SMS is more of a connecting tool, and you can't receive the file by just a visual message of just a few words. And therefore, there's nothing can replace the original function of email, which is to be able to store, send, compose, and receive messages or files over electronic communication systems. Emails to the older generation are somewhat new and to be discovered, and therefore we cannot focus on the younger generation by itself, but focus on the older generation and younger generation on its whole. And therefore, before I say, let me allow me to reiterate our stand, emails are not outdated because it is still widely used globally.